In a steel mill, a worker performs a routine task by a furnace, oblivious to the danger. Suddenly, what starts as a small leak catastrophically fails. A violent torrent of incandescent liquid erupts in a blinding flash, instantly engulfing him in the fiery wave. Industrial environments are unforgiving. Constant vigilance and equipment checks are paramount. Inside a factory, a worker leans over powerful rollers, making a routine adjustment. A split second of contact is all it takes. The machine grabs his arm, violently pulling him headfirst into its unforgiving grip. He vanishes into the mechanism instantly. A moment of inattention can have severe consequences. Always de-energize machinery before any interaction. At an industrial site, a worker hand feeds a powerful machine. In one horrifying instant, the intake snags him. He's pulled violently inside before anyone can react. A cloud of dust erupts as his colleagues rush in panic. A terrifying lesson. Always use tools and maintain a safe distance from moving parts. A routine task on an industrial platform. A worker leans in, focused, unaware of the pressure building beneath his hands. In a violent flash, a superheated jet of flame erupts, engulfing him instantly. The blast throws his partner clear. Never neglect lockout-tagout procedures. Your diligence is the only thing standing between a normal day and catastrophe. Inside a factory workshop, a man climbs into a metal container, completely unaware of the danger lurking within. In an instant, a catastrophic blast erupts, violently throwing his body to the concrete as he is engulfed in a storm of fire. Confined spaces can be treacherous. Always verify atmospheric hazards and follow strict entry procedures. On a factory floor, a man makes a fateful choice, walking directly in front of a massive fan. In a horrifying instant, the machine's powerful suction snatches him, pulling him violently from his feet into the blades. A cloud of debris explodes outward, a brutal reminder to always respect the power of industrial machinery and maintain a safe distance. On a seemingly normal day, a farmhand aggressively shoves stalks into the forage harvester. He leans too far, underestimating the machine's pull. In one horrific, violent moment, the rollers grab hold and drag him headfirst into the unforgiving blades. He is gone in an instant. This is a stark reminder. Heavy machinery is relentless. Never place hands near an active intake. In an industrial yard, a worker walks near a forklift carrying a dangerously high load. The operator begins a slow turn, a fatal error in judgment. The machine's balance shifts catastrophically. It violently crashes onto its side, throwing the operator and pinning him under the steel cage. A terrifying reminder. Always keep your load low and stable, especially when maneuvering. On the factory floor, a worker leans in to clear a jam. In a horrifying instant, the machine's heavy press slams down, trapping him inside its powerful gears. His colleague reels back in shock as the cycle continues. A chilling lesson. Never, ever reach into active machinery. Always isolate the power source first. In this warehouse, a worker moves to guide a suspended steel coil. A critical error. In a split second, the banding fails, and tons of steel unspool with explosive force, catching him directly in its path. A horrific outcome. Never place yourself under a suspended load. Always stay out of the drop zone and line of fire. On this construction site, a worker sits unaware, directly in the drop zone. Suddenly, the rigging fails. The multi-ton bucket violently detaches, crashing down beside him with immense force, and erupting in a massive cloud of debris. An explosive reminder: always stay clear of suspended loads. Your position is your protection. In an industrial workshop, a man stands dangerously close to a massive roller. He leans in, and in a flash his clothing is caught. The machine instantly pulls his entire body into its violent, unstoppable rotation, wrapping him around the cylinder in less than a second. A horrifying reminder that even a moment of complacency near powerful machinery can have devastating consequences. He leans over the active machine, a moment of lapsed focus. Suddenly his clothes are caught. He's violently pulled in and spun with terrifying force, his shirt ripped away in an instant. He's thrown clear, but it's a stark warning. Never wear loose clothing or jewelry near rotating parts. 1 second is all it takes to change everything. At a chemical plant, a worker bends low over his task. In a blinding flash, a fireball erupts from that exact spot. The blast is instantaneous, engulfing him in the inferno while violently throwing his colleague aside. This is a brutal reminder. Always verify equipment is fully isolated and depressurized before performing any work. Deep in a rocky trench, a child squeezes into a dark, hidden crevice. They vanish completely. Then, from above, a huge rock is deliberately pushed. It plummets down, landing squarely on the opening and sealing it shut in an explosive cloud of dust. This is why you must never play in or near unstable excavations. The risk is unthinkable. A forgotten danger in the sand. Fueled by a dare, he ignores the warnings and approaches. He lifts his foot, hesitates for a final second, and then makes a catastrophic choice. The world erupts in a blinding flash. Unexploded ordnance is never a toy. If you see something like this, do not approach. Keep your distance and alert the authorities immediately. In a muddy yard, a worker stands oblivious, his back to the path of heavy machinery. He doesn't see the forklift turn into his space. In a split second, the machine strikes, pinning his body between tons of unforgiving steel. A horrifying moment born from a blind spot. Always stay visible and confirm eye contact with equipment operators before they move. Your awareness is your best defense. A late-night warehouse shift. A worker balances on the conveyor, tossing packages. As he lifts another, his footing gives way. In an instant, he pitches headfirst off the belt, landing hard among the boxes below. He lies motionless. A chilling reminder. Conveyor belts are for cargo, not people. Always ensure you are working from a stable surface. Your footing is your lifeline. On this factory floor, a worker walks directly into the path of an active robot, bending down, completely unaware. The massive arm swings its heavy load overhead, then descends with crushing force, pinning him in a horrific instant. A chilling reminder. Stay out of the machine's work envelope. Always. Inside a shipyard, 2 workers are dwarfed by a massive steel structure. Suddenly, a multi-ton metal plate above them breaks loose, tilting and then crashing down with immense force. One worker ducks, a split-second instinct saving him from being crushed where he stood. A terrifying reminder to always be aware of overhead hazards and secure every load.